Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Coding with T. Today we are going to learn how to create forget password and reset password screens in Flutter. Okay, our application is running. This is the onboarding screen we created earlier, and we have already done with the login screen, sign up screen, and in the previous tutorial we learned when the user is going to click on this create account, this verify email address, and when the email is going to be verified, this success screen will be appear to the user, and when user is going to click on this continue button, he will be redirected to the login. So we are going to reuse that success screen as a reset password screen. So let's quickly click on this forget password. Okay, here user is going to enter his email, and when user is going to click on the submit button, the password reset email will be sent, and based on that email, Firebase will show a pop-up in which user can easily reset his email. And once the email has been verified, user will click on this done button to go to the login screen. So without wasting time, let's get started. Okay, as you know, we are creating Flutter e-commerce application, and we have completed our section 1, and we are inside our section 2, and this is the last video of section 2. In this we have already completed all the design related to the login screen, and if you are interested to get the complete code, you can get the code from the description below, or you can get it from the codingwitht.com. Okay, so without wasting time, let's get started. Open Android Studio, and we are inside our project we created for our e-commerce application. And you can see previously we have already designed this verify email, sign up screens, sign up form, etc. So this time we are not going to talk about the sign up. Okay, now you created forget password and reset password files inside a folder which is password configuration. So first of all, let's talk about the forget password. In here it's a simple stateless class, scaffold with an empty app bar, and just to add an equal space from all the sides, I have added padding with a default space which is 24. If you're new, you don't know what is t sizes class and what is created over here in the constants, I suggest you to watch the previous videos. Then as we have to align all the elements vertical from top to bottom, so we have to use the column property, and in here you can see we first have to add headings, text field, and submit button. In the text field we are going to get the user email. Based on that email we are going to reset user's password. So first of all, let's create headings. In here I added two texts. The first one is t text, which is forget password title, which is already mentioned inside our text strings. Let me show you again, it is inside the constants. And for the second, it is forget password subtitle. And for the themes, we use a style with a text theme which is headline medium, and for the second one, which is a label medium. So once we have declared two headings, it will work for both light and dark modes, because we are using headline, medium, and label, which is already defined inside our themes text theme. And to add further space next to the theme, you can see I have given a default size which is space between sections but multiply by 2, which will add it extra space between text field and text. To create a text field, we will just use text form field property in the decoration. I'm going to use the input decoration property, and inside the input decoration, let's add a label text, ttext.email, and as a prefix icon, I'm going to use the icon property of direct right, Control Alt L to align. This icons X package is already being used in the pubspec.yaml file. Let's add a constant over here. And one more thing, go to the login screen. Inside the login form, we have created remember me and forget password. For the forget password, when this button is going to be clicked, we want to redirect our user to forget password screen using get.to. Add a constant and make sure it should be in the function, and then get.to again requires a function, and then we are going to call our next screen. Let me run the application. Okay, so our application is running. Let's go to login. So when we are going to click on this forget password, you can see we have a text, back arrow of the app bar, and we have a text field. Now after this text field, we want to create a button. Go to the forget password screen, and inside the buttons, we first have to add a space of the size box. I will use elevated button. On press is currently null, but it will be redirect to the reset password screen. And as a child, use the text property, add constant at the start, and to make this button full width, we have to wrap this button with the size box widget. Press Alt Enter, and down below you can see we have a size box widget. At the start, use the width property, and to make it full width, use double dot infinity. Let's save the code, and you can see we have full width button. Okay, so far our forget password is completed, but when we are going to click on this forget password button, we should redirect to the reset screen or the reset password screen. We use the same way, which is the getX way, to move to the next screen. We are using get.to and use the reset password. If you don't want to let the user to come back to this screen, so you can simply use get.off, which means that it is not going to keep the instance of this forget password screen. When user is going to go to the reset password and click the back button, he will be redirected directly to the login screen instead of this forget password screen. So it's all up to your choice. Control Alt L, and let's save the code. Click on this submit screen and you can see we are redirected to the reset password screen we have created over here. It also contains a simple app bar, single child scroll view, padding, which is the default padding, and again a column which is going to require some image, title, subtitle and buttons. So first of all, let's talk about the app bar. We don't want an app bar with a back arrow over here, so we'll use automatically imply leading to false to remove the default back arrow. Save the code and back arrow is gone. Next, to create a cross icon on the right side, we are going to use actions, and in the actions we are going to create icons button. On press will simply get us to the back screen, get.back, and as an icon use the Cupertino icons.clear, which is a cross sign. Okay, we have to add or wrap this get.back in a function. So for a single line function we can use the fat arrows. Let's save the code and you can see we have a cross sign right on the right side. Control Alt L. Okay, now we have the padding aligned. In the column we are going to create an image, title and subtitle. So let me walk you through to the common widgets in the widgets success screen. If you remember that we have a design which is scaffold, which contains padding, a column with an image, title, subtitle and buttons, and it is also asking us to provide this image, title, subtitle and on press as we like, right? So this means that we can simply use this as well if you want to use, but on the other hand we also require reset button, which is an add-on button. You cannot see that over here, so we can simply copy this image which we have already created in the previous video, which is an image tag, asset image, and image will be provided. Then as a width we are going to use the 60% of the width, which is the screen width. You can simply call media query dot of context and you have to provide the context over here. Then size dot width is going to return the width of the screen, and then we are going to add some space, which is a space between sections, which is 32. Then we have a title and subtitle with the same headline medium and label medium, and both title contains space between items, and after the text we have space between sections space, which is an extra space. And then at the bottom we have a simple button. So let me just simply copy these three things, go to reset password, and in here we are going to paste it right over here. Okay, in here as an image we have to pass delivered email illustration. You can pass any image. We have already declared all these images in the t images class, and let me just show you over here in the constant utils. You can see we have image strings dot, and this class is directly linked to the assets which we have already added at the top in the images, in the animations. We copy this path and paste it over here, and now we can easily call t images dot, because these are static, so we can directly call them. Okay, we have to remove this constant and add constant over here. And for the t helper function, let me just show you this class as well. This is a simple t helper function class, and all the functions use this static keyword. So that's why we can easily call t helper functions dot screen width, and you hover over it, you can see it's returning double property to us. So we can easily multiply it with a 0.6 to get the 60% of the width. Then as a title we have already added change your password title in the text strings and change your password subtitle for the second one. So it's again a text class already defined in the constants down below here. So every variable is a static, so we can simply define everything over here, and we are using these variables. And then for the button we are going to use the continue. Instead of continue we can call ttext.done. Let's save the code, and you can see we have an image, title, subtitle and a button which is saying done, but we can again create another button. So let me just add space over here, and after this space we are going to copy this button, paste it, change this elevated button to text button, and instead of done we are going to call it resend email. Let's save the code, and you can see we have reset email button created down below the done button. When user is going to click on this cross sign, he will be redirected to back to the login. Go to the forget password, click on this, and resend email is going to resend that email again to the user. So this is what we are going to achieve. If you have any question, or if you want me to go in more details, talk about everything again and again, you can ask me down below in the comments. Once again, thank you for watching. I hope you learned something new. If you learned something new, please like the video, and if you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified about the all upcoming videos. Thank you for watching. Take care. Allah Hafiz.